You know, for decades, we've seen our web browser as just a window to the internet, right? A simple tool. But what if that window could actually do the work for you? Today, we're diving into a brand new contender that's promising to do exactly that.
And really, that's the core question here. Forget just searching and clicking. Imagine for a second a browser that actually gets what you're trying to do and then just does it. A true co-pilot for your digital life. That is the whole promise of what people are calling an agentic browser.
So yeah, this whole idea is kicking off what a lot of people are calling a brand new browser war. We're seeing this massive shift in what we even expect from these tools, moving them from just passive windows to, well, active intelligent assistants.
Okay, so what's the real difference here? It's pretty huge, actually. On one side, you've got your traditional browsers like Chrome and Firefox. They're great. They're like a car. You tell them where to go, you do the driving, and they take you there. But on the other side, you've got AI browsers like Comet. They're more like a chauffeur. You just tell them your destination, and they handle all the details to get you there.
And look, don't think this is just some niche idea. The CEO of Perplexity, the company behind Comet, thinks the browser itself, not some separate chatbot, is the real future for how we're all going to interact with AI. This completely changes the game. The goal isn't just to build a better search engine anymore, it's to change our entire experience on the web.
All right, so let's properly meet Comet, the browser that's making all these waves.
So what is it, really? To put it simply, Comet is a browser that was built from the ground up with an AI assistant at its very core. It's not just an add-on or an extension, it's the main event. And the really clever part, it's built on Chromium, so it feels familiar, but what it can do is anything but.
Okay, so when did this thing actually launch? It dropped on July 9th, 2025. But here's the catch. You can't just go and download it. For now, it's exclusively for people who subscribe to Perplexity's high-end Max service, with a much slower, invite-only plan for everyone else down the road.
All right, so all of that sounds amazing in theory, right? But what does it actually do? How does it work in the real world? Let's walk through a few examples of how Comet takes these big ideas and turns them into actual completed tasks.
Okay, this is where it gets really cool. Imagine you just type, "Book me a flight to New York next Thursday at 5 p.m. Instead of just giving you a bunch of links to Google Flights, Comet actually gets to work. It goes to the travel sites, pulls your info, fills in all the tedious forms, finds the flight options, and then just serves them up to you for a final one-click yes. You get to skip all the boring parts.
And it's not just for booking stuff, it's an absolute powerhouse for research. There's this AI sidebar that's always on, and it knows what you're looking at. So you could be on a shopping page and just ask it to compare two laptops side by side. Or maybe you open a super dense 12-page PDF and just say, hey, give me the 3 main bullet points. It can even find you counter-arguments for an article you're reading, which is pretty wild. And here's the real kicker, especially for anyone who, like me, hates the hassle of switching browsers. Because Comet is built on Chromium, which is the same foundation as Google Chrome, all your favorite extensions, all your bookmarks, they just work. It makes trying it out so much easier.
But of course, something this powerful, well, it's not going to be free. And more importantly, it doesn't come without some pretty big risks. So let's get real for a minute.
First up, let's talk about the price tag. Brace yourself. At launch, getting Comet means getting a Perplexity Max subscription, which costs a whopping $200 a month. Yeah, that price alone tells you who this is for right now. Power users and big companies, not the average person.
And then we have the security issues, which are, well, they're a big deal. Almost right away, security firms like Brave and Guardio found a major problem called prompt injection. Basically, it means a sneaky website could feed hidden instructions to the AI agent, potentially tricking it into leaking your private data from your other open tabs. That is a huge red flag.
When you look at privacy, it's kind of a similar story. A lot of promises, but also a lot of problems. Now, the super expensive enterprise plan offers things like local data storage and top-tier security compliance. But the big prompt injection vulnerability is still there. Plus, some users say the privacy settings don't always stick. And all those great privacy features, they're only for that premium enterprise plan.
Okay, so we've got this incredible power on one hand and the steep price and some serious risks on the other. That makes us zoom out and ask the really big question here.
When you boil it all down, Comet's ambition is just massive. This isn't just another browser. It's a fundamental attempt to change our relationship with the internet, turning it into an active partnership instead of a passive one. It's a direct challenge to the web as we've known it for decades.
And that really leaves us with the final question. The one you have to ask yourself. The tech is amazing, no doubt, but it forces a really tough choice. Is having this powerful AI co-pilot worth that incredibly high monthly price? And maybe more importantly, is it worth the security risk? The answer to that question could very well define the next chapter of the internet.